Allô? Docteur, vous nous entendez? 1, 2, 3. Ok. Alors, on va... Ok, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming again this year for our celebration. Those who are used to this commemoration know that the talks and conferences and blah 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 start very slowly, and then later folks join us for the other part of the afternoon, which is more festive. So we didn't want to wait more, and because we have a distinguished guest. So on behalf of Robin Lloyd, I want you to give a round of applause for Madame Robin Lloyd, who's the president of our enduring committee, every year trying to bring this commemoration to you. So she will join us a little later during the discussion after we watch the documentary that, just for a few words, after we watch the documentary that, and now it's time to introduce another distinguished guest. Janet Biel. Je vous demande de l'applaudir. Janet Biel, who is also a good friend of Africa, because, you know, this last year we went together to Togo, where the whole Africa and African diaspora met for an iconic meeting, congress, I should say, the Pan-African Congress in Lomé. So we're gonna watch this documentary now and then talk a little bit later until our friends come join us for food and dance. So as I am the MC and the technician, so you will just forgive me that we sometimes are a little slow here. We're gonna share our screen with voila, this is the, so let's see. Dr. Laoke, do you see the screen? Yeah. Okay, all right, so I'll... No, it's just the... Okay, all right. All right, so let's go.
Un peuple qui ignore son histoire, ses origines et sa culture est comme un arbre sans racines.
L'esclave, qui n'est pas capable d'assumer sa révolte, ne mérite pas que l'on s'apitoie sur son sort.
L'histoire dira que je n'ai jamais trahi mon peuple.
Ce 9e congrès arrive à un moment où l'Afrique n'est plus périphérique, elle n'est plus silencieuse, elle est jeune, elle est forte, elle est ouverte au monde et déterminée à ne plus être modélée par d'autres.
Je voudrais dire que face à un monde multipolaire où les rapports de force déterminent la souveraineté réelle de nos nations, l'Afrique ne peut plus se permettre d'être vulnérable économiquement, politiquement et culturellement. C'est vraiment important. Nous le savons tous, le panafricanisme répond à une exigence, reconstituer l'unité brisée et restaurer la dignité collective. On a trop longtemps été sous-estimé.
We must defeat the legacy of slavery and colonization.
Le premier objectif, c'est de soutenir toutes les politiques de démantèlement des troupes néocolonialistes et impérialistes sur le sol africain.
Le panafricanisme n'est donc plus seulement une idée, C'est un impératif.
Notre indépendance n'a de sens que si nous restons maîtres de notre destin.
Le problème du XXe siècle est celui de la discrimination raciale.
Nous voulions dire au monde que nous existons.
Chaque génération doit, dans une relative opacité, affronter sa mission, la remplir ou la trahir.
Notre jeunesse est notre plus grand atout stratégique. Elle porte l'innovation, le numérique, la culture, l'économie créative, les luttes sociales. Elle est prête si nous savons lui faire confiance.
Si auparavant la jeunesse ne s'intéressait pas à l'évolution de l'Afrique ou de la géopolitique mondiale, mais actuellement nous sommes focus, l'âge ne compte pas. Ce qui compte, c'est le projet, la mission que nous avions pour l'Afrique. Donc dans un futur proche, vous allez voir que ceux qui vont diriger ou ceux qui vont gouverner l'Afrique auront parfois moins de trentaine, voire même plus de trentaine, pas au-delà des cinquantaines. Pourquoi? Parce que nous avons compris les enjeux et nous sommes engagés fortement à faire ce qu'il y a à faire pour le bonheur de l'Afrique.
So if they don't listen to young people, that they may not be able to control in the future. And I would love to say that we are prepared, we are armed, not armed physically, but intellectually, technologically, and we have all the items at our disposal to be able to topple all these governments and ensure that we put good leadership, and not only leadership, but followed by strong and institutional changes.
Nous avons tout ce qu'il faut pour nous développer, alors où se trouve le problème? Nous avons les ressources humaines qu'il faut. La jeunesse africaine est tellement consciente de leur responsabilité en tant que jeune pour faire émerger le continent. Mais cet engagement n'est pas soutenu par nos dirigeants, parce qu'à chaque fois qu'il y a des vagues de jeunes qui se lèvent, qui s'engagent pour changer les choses, il y a toujours certains dirigeants qui leur mettent des bâtons dans les roues en les persécutant, à les emprisonnant. Donc cela n'encourage pas une jeunesse consciente.
Combien d'autres devront mourir pour que cette guerre s'arrête? Les arbres sont le manteau de la terre. Si on ne vous donne pas de place à table, apportez une chaise pliante. J'en avais assez de céder. La liberté est incomplète sans les femmes.
Yeah.
The Pan-African movement needs to understand that this expansion of our democracy and the equality of women cannot take place in settings that accept colonial lists and definitions of our women.
Ce qui nous a été habitué, que les femmes doivent rester à la maison, s'occuper des foyers, se concentrer sur des tâches beaucoup plus féminines que de descendre sur le terrain, manifester, voilà, mener des combats d'ordre national, voire continental. Donc c'est pas facile pour nous. Il y a parfois les stigmatisations, il y a parfois des préjugés sociaux qui freinent un peu l'engagement des femmes dans le panafricanisme d'une manière générale.
Moi, je suis une Africaine fière de l'être et qui le crie sur tous les toits où que je sois.
It is important for us to remove the historic image of African women that we continue to perpetuate in the media.
Et d'ailleurs, l'une de nos revendications, l'un de nos combats, de faire en sorte que les femmes puissent participer davantage, de s'engager dans les organisations, de s'engager dans les luttes d'une manière générale.
Women who fight for liberation, who are activists, who fight against colonialism, are not doing it within a woman's movement. We are doing it within a movement based on humanity.
Je suis fière d'avoir combattu
La liberté ne s'octroie pas, elle se conquiert. En me renversant, on a abattu que le tronc. Une lutte qui n'éduque pas, n'émancipe pas. Émancipez-vous de l'esclavage mental. Seuls nous pouvons libérer nos esprits.
All of these colonial powers strive to confuse us as Africans, to dehumanize, to coerce, to trick, to manipulate. Have to think about how do we heal from the trauma of white supremacy, colonialism, neocolonialism, settler colonialism, imperialism, and eventual slavery. So we have generational trauma, and we shouldn't forget. But also want to suggest to you that we have generational fight and struggle for transformation. And we need to incorporate that into what we do.
Il s'agit donc de transformer la mémoire traumatique en force organisatrice.
Every empire that collapsed first collapsed psychologically, and every people who rose first liberated their thinking before they liberated their territory.
Nous n'avons pas besoin d'être sauvés, nous avons besoin d'être écoutés. Reconquérir notre narratif, c'est aussi maîtriser les nouveaux espaces de communication numérique, médiatique et académique.
Africa's global image will not change because we ask the world to see us differently. It will change because we build systems, governance, dignity, and innovation to make a new narrative. If Africans themselves are convinced about this, they will be the best person, the best ambassadors to show a better image of Africa across the world.
Écrire, c'est hurler sans bruit.
Ma bouche sera la bouche des malheurs qui n'ont point de bouche. L'histoire est la seule arme des peuples. La connaissance libère les peuples.
For Africa, a united Africa to succeed, we must have a plan for continental unity, a plan for us to plan our economies on a continental scale, not in isolation, never in isolation. That we were divided deliberately into small, economically unviable states, deliberately, so that we cannot stand on our feet, so we cannot industrialize. So we will have to borrow and be high risk, borrow at high interest rates. We were divided into small parts, so we cannot be totally free.
Je vais, en 7 points, vous dire pourquoi nous devrions créer une monnaie africaine. Une monnaie pour toute l'Afrique. La première raison, c'est pour amplifier nos échanges. Lorsque vous avez la même monnaie, c'est de pouvoir échanger entre vous, parce que vous n'avez plus de coûts de transaction ni de risque de change. Vous voyez, donc, rien que pour ça, il nous faudrait une monnaie qui finance le secteur privé africain. C'est que nous avons besoin d'une monnaie pour financer l'arrivée sur le marché du travail africain de 600 millions de jeunes dans les 40 prochaines années, à raison de 15 millions de jeunes par an. Aucun continent au monde n'a eu à gérer un tel défi. Et donc moi je plaide pour la création d'une banque centrale africaine qui aura comme un des objectifs principaux la création d'emplois. Ça me paraît fondamental. Il nous faut une banque centrale qui finance les États, comme ça se passe partout dans le monde, sauf en Afrique. Il n'est pas question que nous allions demander l'autorisation au marché financier pour construire un hôpital. Et donc, nous avons besoin d'une monnaie africaine qui finance directement les États africains. Osons sortir de la servitude monétaire du franc CFA. Et pour transformer l'Afrique, nous avons besoin d'assumer la souveraineté monétaire africaine.
L'unité ne nous rendra pas riches, mais elle rendra plus difficile pour quiconque de nous appauvrir. Tant que la philosophie qui considère une race comme supérieure et une autre comme inférieure ne sera pas définitivement discréditée et abandonnée, la guerre fera rage partout.
Je porte l'Afrique dans ma voix.
We must develop the power, the capacity to enforce the collective will of African people on the African continent and outside the continent in all world affairs. Because without the political unification of African people and the resulting positive sovereignty, we will not have the power and capacity to implement the solutions to Africa's problems, no matter how brilliant they are.
Aujourd'hui, dans les rapports politiques mondiaux, il est impossible de peser quand nous allons en groupuscule. Quand vous voyez nos pays, géographiquement, politiquement, financièrement, diplomatiquement, nous ne pesons pas assez.
So for me, let the leaders be put in some room, face themselves, and be told the truth that those are not nations, they are provinces of Africa. So for me, the first thing that we must sort out urgently is leadership.
Si vos rêves ne vous effraient pas, c'est qu'ils ne sont pas assez grands.
Cela semble toujours impossible jusqu'à ce qu'on le fasse.
Le panafricanisme est la politique de la survie.
Par tous les moyens nécessaires.
Pan-Africanism is no longer a dream to admire. It is an assignment that every single person in this room should execute. Let it not be said that we spoke beautifully and built nothing. Let it be said that we transformed ideology into infrastructure. Because unity without infrastructure is only emotion.
All of you must have the courage to become feminists.
Africa must unite. Africa must unite.
L'Afrique doit s'unir.
Thank you so much. My apologies. Like a few minutes before this meeting, I was finalizing the editing. So from time to time, you will see the president of the council that will come and go. But you know, the next version will be available on our channel, Global South Watch. We thank very much Robin Lloyd and Toward Freedoms, with which we organized this trip to Togo. And we're very, very happy to have done that. Alors quickly, we have a guest who is waiting. Dr. Nyaka Lagoke, are you there? Yes, I'm here. All right, let me get back to you so we can have your, so that we can free you. How do I do that? Okay, yes, Dr. Nyaka Lagoke. Can we hear him? Hello? Go ahead.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hello everyone, and then I'm going to, I think I was asked to talk about Pan-Africanism and then to take the 9th Pan-African Congress as a pretext for my conversation. Okay, so I saw the images of that Eric and then Janet collected or recollected from Togo at the 9th Pan-African Congress. You may know that I was the chairman of the scientific committee, but I could not be there. And then I'm not going to, in this conversation, I'm not going to talk about the reason why I was not there, but I want to talk about the importance of the gathering, and I want to talk about the golden age of Pan-Africanism that we are living in today. So I'm going to start with the debate about the Pan-African Congress. In the beginning, many in the Pan-African circles, the question Togo's intention, because they were saying that the government of Togo is not a model of democracy, and then it has never been an example of Pan-Africanism. Therefore, Togo should not organize the Pan-African Congress. But what we try to do is that, we know the political reality in Togo, but the countries that we support, like Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and even Senegal, those countries that are at the forefront of the Pan-African revolution in the 21st century, they have not taken the lead to organize a Pan-African gathering. So if a country like Togo decides to organize a Pan-African gathering, we can rally around Togo, but at the same time, we can talk about some serious issues, such as the liberation of political prisoners in Togo, which I did in my conversation with the minister, which I did when we were talking with the staff of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Togo. In the document, I was raising the issue of the political prisoners in Togo. That was my position. But one thing that many people did not know is that it was not just Togo. It was Togo's proposition, which was endorsed by the African Union, because in the line of Agenda 2063, which was put together by the African Union in 2013, many countries decided to organize a number of campaigns. For instance, Ghana is the champion for reparations because of the crimes committed by slavery, during slavery against Africans and people of African descent. So the people need to know that. That's why the president of Ghana, John Mahama Dramani, submitted to the UN a resolution to make slavery the gravest crime against humanity. I was at the conference in Ghana in November 2023. John Mahama Dramani was not in power. It was his predecessor, Nana Akufo-Addo. He organized a big conference. I was there. We spoke about reparation. Even if in the resolutions, in the final declaration, we did not see some of the things that we spoke about that I'm going to talk about in a few.
So when you talk about reparation, could you just elaborate a little bit about that? What people are asking for exactly?
No, I'm coming to that. So I'm just saying that the campaign for reparation, that is the campaign for Ghana. And that's why we saw John Mahama Dramani in March the 25th, 2026 at the UN. And then his resolution was adopted by 123 countries who agreed that slavery should be considered the gravest crime against humanity. When Ghana was doing the campaign for reparation, Togo decided to organize the Pan-African Congress in the line of the Pan-African Congresses organized by W.B. Du Bois. So there is another, Algeria, for instance, decided to organize a conference end of November, beginning of December 2025, to talk about reparations or the crimes of colonialism, and then to talk about nuclear imperialism, because you may remember that the French decided to detonate the two first bombs as nuclear tests in the desert of Algeria during the
French,
war of
the French government during the
war of independence that the Algerians launched against the French colonial rule.
So they tested the atomic bomb in the desert of Algeria. So Algeria is asking to add reparation for slavery, reparation for colonialism, and reparation for atomic.
Yes. So that's also the. Eric, let me finish. So and then Kenya, for instance, decided to take the lead for climate justice. So these are some of the things people need to know. I'm talking about the initiatives taken by respective countries with the endorsement of the African Union, and I'm not talking about the citizens movement that we see in South Africa, in Mali, in Niger, in Senegal, in Ivory Coast, and some other places. So this is Pan-Africanism. So in that context, a congress organized by the Togolese minister, Ducé, for me it was a good opportunity. And then people gathered. I worked on it as the chairman of the scientific committee. I made sure that the narrative of the Ubuntu philosophy, the new dispensation of Pan-Africanism, and the question of reparations be inserted in the document, in some of the documents before the Congress, and then in the documents of the Congress. So this is what we saw. And then even though I was not there, I was following the Congress, the debate, the conversation. There were some positive notes and some positive aspects, but of course, because some of the leaders of Africa do not understand that it's not always about them. There was a kind of state capture, to quote my friend Cyprien Baleka of the Non-Pan-African Congress, but many of the people were there. They had good intentions. They were not there to praise the Togolese government. They wanted to raise the issue and have some serious conversation. And also, many met. And then from there, some of them are still in contact with each other, and they're continuing the conversation. So after the Pan-African Congress now, when Ghana is doing the campaign for reparations, is continuing to campaign for reparations, we have to know that the Pan-African Congress played a role in that process. Like I said, I introduced the narrative of reparation in the Pan-African Congress, and then therefore it is also the continuation of what Ghana did in November 2023, and then the resolution that was voted at the UN in March 2026. It's also the continuation of the Non-Pan-African Congress, and in June from June 17 to June 19, there will be another conference in Ghana in order to assess the voting of the resolution. So we are trying to make sure that those African leaders do the work with a greater sense of coordination, because what is lacking in our struggles is that many people do things in a scattered way. Yes, a conference in Nigeria against nuclear imperialism is a good thing. Yes, when we see the people in Senegal are talking about the Tiaroy Camp massacre, it's a good thing. When we hear people in Namibia are talking about the massacre of the Eroros and the Nama, it is a good thing. When we see in the people in the United States and Americas are talking about campaigning for reparation because of slavery, it's a good thing. But what we are not seeing, it is a stronger coordination of all those initiatives, so that we can build a real united front for reparation that can sustain and support and enhance Pan-Africanism. So this is what we're trying to do, and we tried to make sure that the Non-Pan-African Congress played that role, even if, after the Congress, we have not seen many things being implemented according to some of the resolutions, and then some of them, were proposed by me and some other people when we were working together, but we have not seen so far some of the things that we
that would be my question now. Congresses, conferences, meetings, and as you say, we don't see any implementation. Also, during our covering of the conference, we saw that on the economical front, people were asking the governments, they were asking more than the philosophical and the reparation issues. Like they wanted to see also the local governments, embrace maybe a Pan-African economic, agenda. Could you talk about this? What is the future? Are they going to be scattered countries, economically weak, or is it going to be maybe, I don't know, a currency? What are your thoughts about the next phase?
Yeah, but first of all, we have to agree that it is not difficult to rule an African country. We have to agree on that. And tonight, we're not going to have time to talk about, all the neocolonial interferences in the development of Africa. We are not going to have time for tonight. But people may think that organizing Pan-African gatherings is a waste of time. No, it is not a waste. It is never a waste of time. People need to strategize. They need to know each other. They need to share experiences. That's why we meet. That's why I am always in favor of Pan-African meetings, gatherings, or meetings when people can meet and talk and discuss. And then we have to know that people who organized the War of Independence in Haiti, they gathered, they met, and they discussed. So it's always good to meet. Now, the burden, this is what I say, we have to see the rise to power of enlightened leaders with vision and who know how to, and who can really cater to the needs of their people. We want to see leaders like Kwame Nkrumah. We want to see leaders like Thomas Sankara, just to mention those two. So when we have those leaders in the leadership position in Africa, and then this is how we can see the transformation of the African Union. But in the meantime, the burden has to be on us. Those who are not in power yet have to make sure that they build a stronger movement in order to enforce their vision, in order to bring the leaders to understand the importance of the way we see the struggle. It is because the Pan-African movement is not well organized, it is not strong enough. That's why those African leaders can go and then organize rallies, people discuss, and then they don't even think about implementing the resolutions. But guess what? Why today those African leaders are talking about Pan-Africanism? Why? 20 years ago, we did not see those African leaders talking about Pan-Africanism. 10 years ago, it is because there were some people who were working on a consistent basis in order to promote the Pan-African consciousness here and there, everywhere, step by step, little by little. Our voices became stronger, louder and bigger, and then our initiative became even stronger, and now everyone is talking about Pan-Africanism to the point that Macron says that he's the Pan-Africanist.
Okay,
so
the president of France, Macron. Doctor, before we go even further, I'll let Janet ask you a question, and then we'll wrap it up, and maybe we have a question from the audience as well. Okay?
Okay, no problem.
Nyaka, when we were in Lomé, we heard many different visions of Pan-Africanism and of efforts to achieve it. And I wondered, probably the most far-reaching one were the people who said we need basically Africa to be the country, not the continent, but the country, and then the different states, existing states within Africa to be provinces. And Kwame Nkrumah talked about a United States of Africa. I'm wondering, what is Nyaka Lagoke's ultimate vision of Pan-Africanism? What would be the end state of Africa in your program?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Janet. Thanks for your wonderful work. Thanks for your presence in Togo. Thanks for the work you're doing with my friend Eric, or with Robin and many other people. Now, this is what I was in a TV show this morning, and then I have to respond to the same question. I have to give an answer to the same question today. Listen, I am an advocate of the United States of Africa, but not the way Kwame Nkrumah was saying. And even Kwame Nkrumah, he even had differing views on the same concept. Sometimes people think that when we talk about the United States of Africa, we want the entire country of Africa, to be united. I don't see that. I don't even think it is possible, and I'm going to say why. But what I'm going to say is that there is no continent on the face of Earth that is united. We are in America, and there are 4 Americas: Northern America or North America, Southern America or Southern America, Central America, and Insular America, which is composed of the islands. But in the northern part of America, we have 3 federations: Canada, Mexico, and the United States. Those 3 are 3 different separate countries and 3 separate federations. What we are suggesting is that we need to reduce the number of those countries that are not viable. Lesotho cannot be a country. Swaziland cannot be a country. Lesotho, Swaziland can be around the Union of South Africa. Gambia can come together. Togo is too small to be a viable country. Benin is too small to be a viable country. So what we want to see, we want to see bigger units in Africa, and then we can have countries around Nigeria or some other federation in West Africa beside Nigeria. So we don't need to have 16 countries in West Africa. We can have 2 or 3 or 4. So this is what I'm saying. Now, more important than that is that the vision that we are promoting. We want, and I made sure that this was written in the documents of the Congress. We want people to understand that it is time for Africa to claim some endogenous value systems. There are many names: Ibe, Igwe Buike. Unity is power. Igwe Buike means unity is power in Igbo. Ibe is the other. Maya is about humanism in Bambara. Burkindi is about humanism in the Mole language in Burkina Faso. Ubuntu in the Nguni languages in South Africa, in Southern Africa. We want, among all those narratives of return, that Ubuntu, which was tested, implemented in South Africa, be that ideological philosophy of the new dispensation of Pan-Africanism. That is the work that we are doing. And then the issue of reparation, the cancellation of the African debt, and the return of the cultural artifacts, all those things, all the new vision of Pan-Africanism need to be embedded in that endogenous African value system, which is the Ubuntu philosophy. So that is the work that we are doing, Janet.
Thank you, Dr. Lagoke. The last question for this discussion will be from okay, all right, go ahead.
Thank you so much. My name is Dr. Safako Komabupome. I'm the Director of Intercultural Excellence of the College of Nursing and Health Sciences, and also a lecturer in public health. So I'm from Ghana. I am enjoying this so much. Today we brought our Ghanaians back from South Africa, and I have had a lot of discussions this morning with my Ghanaian friends. And one major thing which was so interesting, talking about Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a philosophy I even used to teach in this American system in terms of interconnectedness, I am because you are, and all the ideals of Pan-Africanism. Now this is the question which is boggling my mind, especially for the youth. What is your take in the ideals that we hold on to as Pan-Africans, as much as the current xenophobia happening right now in South Africa? What message do you have for the youth? Because I work a lot with the youth, and that is the contradiction happening on our land right now. And I just want to hear your take. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Madam. Thank you very much. Before I answer your question, this is what I want to say, Eric. So, Madam, first of all, I appreciate that you are an advocate of Ubuntu, that you are a proponent of Ubuntu. Sometimes when we talk about Ubuntu, some people say, oh yes, but why you talk about Ubuntu? First of all, you're not the only one. Okay, I never said I was the only one. Mandela was the one who promoted Ubuntu, and Mandela was not the first, to try and promote the Ubuntu philosophy. Number two, people don't see, they don't understand the relevance of Ubuntu, the relevance of claiming a non-divergent value system. The reason why we do that is that, okay, when you come to power as an African leader, then you're going to be dealing with what is the Washington consensus, that is going to come from the IMF and the World Bank, and they're going to tell you how you need to develop your country. So even the paradigm that you want to use in order to try and talk about, to meet the needs of the people, it is designed by those who still want to oppress or who want to exploit us. So we need to get rid of those paradigms that are being used by the Europeans in order to exploit, to exploit and then to oppress us. For instance, in my country, in Ivory Coast, when, for instance, the Europeans come and then they do the exploitation of oil, they give 17% out to the state and they take the rest. And it is like that in Ghana with gold. It was like that maybe before John Mahama Dramani went back to power. It is like that almost everywhere in the continent of Africa, those multinationals. So that's why we say that, okay, I am because you are, that is the Ubuntu philosophy. We need to claim our own value systems in order to think about our survival and our future. And then I'm seizing the opportunity. When we talk about Ubuntu, it is a word that comes from the Nguni languages. I talked about Nguni languages in South Africa. But we have the same variants, we have several variations of Ubuntu in many, many languages in Africa. Out of the 2,000 languages in Africa, we have between 600 and 900 Bantu languages. Our sister is from Ghana. As I was talking about Ubuntu, and I discovered that even in Ghana, they have a variant of Ubuntu, which is...
That's Sankofa.
No. Sankofa, it is when the bird looks back to learn from the past in order to build the present and the future. This is what we are doing in the spirit of Sankofa. We are going back to Ubuntu. But you guys call that Together for Development. It is Ubuntu. If you are in Akan, you should know. Ubuntu or Ubuntu. It is same thing like Ubuntu. You can see, you can hear the same sound. And when I go to Nigeria with the Igbo people over there, they call that Numamdu. Numamdu, it is what? The beauty of life. When we leave Ghana and Nigeria and we go to Burkina Faso, they call that Burkindi. The word Burkindi gave birth to Burkina. Burkindi, it is the variant of Ubuntu in Burkina Faso. In Senegal, they call that Nite, which is about humanism. And then when you study Sheikh Diop, who said that Egypt, the ancient Egyptian civilization is connected to the Bantu people today or to modern day Africa, Nite, which is about humanism, it is also the variant in Senegal, in Wolof, of Ubuntu. So we have that concept. When we choose it, when we espouse it, when we embrace it, and then we can think about a new African political system, an Ubuntu economy. We can use that to claim reparation. We can use that to ask for the cancellation of African countries' debt, and we can do many other things. This is what we are trying to do. Now, it is not because people are fighting. For me, I'm not even going to be too long for this. Listen, it's not because some people are not practicing Christianity properly or Islam properly that we know to think about the value of the teachings of those religions. So the human being may falter, they may have some flaws, they may fault, but the idea of African brotherhood, we need to still believe in it. And then South Africans are doing what they do. A couple of years ago, it was the people in Tunisia, even going after those African migrants. They were even sold in the northern part of Africa as like slaves. We know what people are doing to some blacks or Negroes in Mauritania. But we also have to know that in Africa, we can see that in each African country, there are some ethnic groups that think that they were born to rule over others, and then these are all the contradictions that we need to discuss, we need to debate. And I believe that we can build a stronger brotherhood in Africa. And then today we are talking about South Africans, black South Africans going after black migrants in South Africa. But I believe in '69, it was Ghana that expelled the Nigerians. Years later, the Nigerians retaliated. These are things that we do not want in order to support. As I'm about to end on that particular topic, I want to go back to a very, very important moment in the history of Africa. I am writing a book on that. It is called the All African People Conference. Again, it was launched by Kwame Nkrumah in 1958. The Africa Day that we celebrate today, it was proposed firstly by the Conference of Independent African States in 1958, because the leaders, when they met, it was from April 15 to April the 22nd, and then they chose the first day of the meeting in order to say, you know what, this is Africa Day. And the All African People's Conference, which was organized in December 1958 in Accra, Patrice Lumumba, Félix Moumié, and then Frantz Fanon, just to mention those three, were at that conference, and that All African People's Conference endorsed many of the resolutions of the Conference of Independent African States. And then this is around the All African People's Conference. In April 1959, people started organizing some celebrations in order to honor Africa Day. Russia, the United States, South Africa, and then some other parts of the world. In England, this is what they were doing. It is when the Organization of the African Unity was created in 1963, and then May 25th, this the Africa Day of April 15 became Africa Day, May the 25th. This is the issue that we need to know. Why I'm talking about that? The first iteration was in Ghana, 1958. The second one was in Tunisia, 1960. And the third one was in Egypt, 1961. So during that moment, the All African People's Conference, which was a conference in the beginning, later on it became a bulletin, and then later on it became an organization, a permanent organization, which the Pan-African Congress did not do, despite what I proposed to the Togolese minister, and then later on it became a movement. Black Africans, white Africans, white people of South Africa, Arabs in the northern part of Africa, and then Indian in Africa, they came together in the spirit of decolonization in order to fight against the imperial forces. It was beautiful to see, to know, to read, and then when we know how people were doing work, we can see that Africans have not always been the way they are today. And that's why we need to claim the spirit of the All African People's Conference, and we need to claim that sense of brotherhood, of the unity of Africa. Before we create those organic states, we need to reduce the contradictions in our respective countries and among those African countries, and that's why the spirit of the All African People's Conference needed to be reclaimed and needed to be endorsed, need to be espoused, need to be studied. And I want to stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nakala Goke. Last intervention, and then
I let you go, Eric?
You're free to leave, but you're free to stay with us to listen to what is coming up. I'm going to take care of you over there while we...
Okay, I'm going to be around for a second there.
I'm going to let you introduce it. Yeah. No, you have a question to me. Okay, but we want you to do your intervention.
We're turning the microphone over to Rachel Mahalu to talk about her public affairs.
No, I actually have a question for him, yes. Yeah.
Allez, je laisse.
Yeah, my question is to you who went to the African Pan-Africanism conference last December. My questions, I have like 2 questions. Because I see he talked about all the ideas of Ubuntu, all the will of the people of Africa, the will to liberation, the will to create a new system that will work for the people, and all that. And then the leaders like there were presidents in the conference, especially the host country Togo, for Nyasimbe, and he started by saying that Togo is not an example of democracy, but because they accepted to host the conference, they could work with them as allies. So my first question is, first of all, at the end of the meeting, was there item action until the next conference next year? Because these are big ideas. This will impact a lot of people. And I know it's also bringing a lot of people around to talk about, because Africa needs liberation. Not only African living within the African continent, but all of us also who have Africa in our hearts. We're living Africa in our heart, but outside of Africa. So what were the item actions that the leaders and all the people involved in that conference left with, so that they know this is what we need to work on until the next conference? So that's my first question. And my second question is about, so right now in the United States, a lot of people from Africa and who are immigrants here are being living under a lot of stress because of the new immigration policy that's being implemented by the new administration. So how us as African, and then a lot of citizens or Americans here see many Africans coming to Africa to live in America as criminals. That's how a lot of immigrants are being labeled, as criminals, as people coming here to take opportunities, or who are mostly criminals. So what message, as you are Pan-Africanism, are you giving to African living in the diaspora, or now a lot are desperate because they left the land due to many reasons: economic reason, war, persecution, discrimination, tribalism, and they're here in America to find new opportunities. They also are being persecuted due to many reasons that were discussed in the Pan-Africanism conference, especially the role of European countries, the role of many countries over the years that made Africa what it is now, and what our current leaders need to do to change that rhetoric, to change so that African, wherever they are, they can reclaim their new identity. They're not criminal. They're not going to other lands to seek or to kill people, but there are many reasons so that they can share it with especially local Americans here and everywhere they are. So what message should those people, desperate now, should carry everywhere they are, based on what you shared during that meeting? Thank you.
Oh, those are fantastic questions. I think I'll start, and then you want to say something about
the first question.
Yeah, the first question.
Yeah, there's a document.
Food is available. It's like le buffet est ouvert, so you can have your plate and we continue the discussion. Right.
So regarding the first question about the action items, there was a declaration issued at the end of the conference based on the discussions for what they consider to be the top action items. There's a whole list of them. It's on the website, so if you Google 9th Pan-African Congress, you'll go to the website for the Congress and you can see them there. I'm sorry I don't have them in front of me now, but yeah, it's available for on the internet.
I understand also that many Africans are fed up with those conferences with long items that are never implemented. What we felt over there is that, beside the philosophy and history and discussions, we need to be concrete about, to be clear about our desire to embrace modernity, to do business. For example, to the brothers here that are now facing more discrimination or a wave of what we see now. First of all, we realize that even in our own countries, there is some problem. We're here because we, in our countries, they were doing what we don't agree with now. So I know also that as new Americans, we have we can pressure our governments, or we can be a passerelle, a bridge between here and our countries, so that the ideas that we want in Africa could be gradually diffused. Most of the problem over there is economy. I mean, people don't have enough resources. There are resources, but there's no way to invest in transforming, for example, the minerals in Congo. They have to rely on foreign companies, but at the same time, the president's watch only is $1 billion. The president of that country is looking for investors. His watch is worth $1 million. He has like 10 cars in his motorcade. So we have to, on doit balayer devant chez nous un peu. Comment on fait ça? We need to put pressure on our governments to be, for example, I would like to thank, the National Guard here, through which Senegal and Vermont are cooperating today. So thanks to Ali Dieng, who is a brother from here, from Senegal, who was, and then we are ambassadors of two cultures now. We are ambassadors of two countries, most of us. So at the same time, we want to, talk about the interest of Congo. We think about the interest of the U.S. and how the part of the U.S. that we are from now can benefit from these conversations between countries. Alors, on va mettre une pause. Question? C'est bon? Ok. So, on clôture le talkie-talkie ou bien on vous invite, madame? Ok, très bien. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our discussion. Now we're going to continue enjoying the food, and then we have a brilliant artist from Ivory Coast who's here. That will be the cherish on the cake. We have also a poet who is here, and then we'll call him now. I think it's time for you to come and show us what you got.
Hello. Thank you for welcoming me. I am Edenusum May, the son of Sebakor May, and I am a poet, a public speaker, and a student at Colchester High School. I am originally from Ghana, and I am here to talk to you about my new published book, Live, Love, Life, A Poetic Symphony from One's Heart. It's being sold for $15, and it is also on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and other platforms. Now, this book is a compilation of poems I've written since 8th grade. They talk about the struggles growing up as a black man in America, and also the laughter and happiness along the way. Today, I'm going to read one poem from the book and perform another. The difference is I'm also a performance poet, and there is a vast difference between reading poetry and reading it. So the first poem I'm going to read is titled We Create, or to relate is to create. And this poem was written about togetherness, the Ubuntu spirit, and how together we can all create a better world. So, to relate is to create. To relate is to create. To relate is to create is to be great. When you relate, our world becomes a mighty state. To relate is to create. Create from the relationships that teach you to be you, teach you to create from two. Teach you to create for me and you. Teach you to find the sanity in the relationships you create. To relate is to create. For when tragedy strikes, it is our ability to relate that creates change. The changes we create all relate to our understanding of ourselves and community. For change is great when you change for two, change for you, change for me and you. For when we relate as a nation, we relate as a single story. We relate to the unity in all of us that tells us that together we stand, but divided we fall. To relate is to create, for I am a creation of two, not of one, a combination of two genes from mom and pop, a creation that we all know to be true. When two or more are gathered, I am in your midst. The creation of two is where we see the spirituality of you. To relate is to create. For I learned my greatest lesson when I learned from my greatest loss. You see, twins know the value of two. To relate on a level no one else understands. You see, when you lose a twin, that value of two becomes a value of one. When you lose your half, you are reborn in a raft, and a raft that teaches you that the greatest lesson you could ever have is the lesson to create as we relate to one another and to ourselves. Thank you. Now I'm going to perform The Day I Die. The Day I Die is a poem I wrote in a time of great struggles and thinking about the nation of America and of Africa and everything that encompasses it. I was thinking of the struggles as often the Africans go through and my own struggles dealing with racism and growing up. So this is The Day I Die. 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 Let the world know. Let the world know I live. The day I die. Let the world know I lived, despite the fact it didn't want me. You see, from kings to slaves, a colonized nation to a segregated population, a disrespectful generation living in a society not accepting me. You see, I've learned to embrace my misery and turn it into my victory, put a positive spin on the negative within, but how can it be? How can I see that my history is a part of my mystery? This is what I see. This is what I see. For there to be peace, there must be some ease, but my life will just crease. For there to be peace, there must be some ease, but my life will just crease. You see, I go through life hoping to be somebody, but my history, it disturbs me. This society confuses and surprises me, feeling alienated and ostracized. This is my story. This is my story. Will I get to my destiny? Maybe eventually, hopefully, for I see deeply as I find my voice in this tapestry, My greatest fear is of death. I'm afraid to die and leave no memory, to be one in many who lost their dignity. I'm afraid my story, I say repeatedly, will cause disharmony. Cause my story runs on its own melody, melody, melody is mine, mine, fine wine. And their voices create their own harmony, bringing me down while I drown, trying to find my voice. Trying to find my melody, trying to find my independence in this residence. A microaggression I've had to face my whole life. Fighting the mosquito bites that just take my soul. I'm just tired. I've faced the same quotes daily that I get so lazy, even getting complacently crazy. I'm just tired. Face the same quotes daily that I get so lazy. I'm just tired. You see, the day that I die, the day that I die, let the world know. Let the world know I lived. Let the world know I lived despite the fact it didn't want me. From kings to slaves to a colonized nation to a segregated population, a disrespectful generation living in a society not accepting me. For I did survive, didn't congregate to connive. I did survive, despite all the hate and the bites that don't revive. I did survive, I did survive, and through survival I extricated myself from the shackles of my past, and I didn't excavate the wounds of my history, but rather, I became phlegmatic through survival. Thank you. So that is my book, and I hope that this book inspires the youth especially to write their own story and to inspire you that your story is worth reading and worth written. So thank you.
Thank you so much. We need, how much is the book?
$15.
Okay.
$15, yeah, thank you.
It will survive after you die.
Yes.
We need more poets in this world. Okay. Now I'm very humbled to announce the next entertainment portion of our entertaining segment. Now we're going to upload the entrance of CCK. She's from Ivory Coast, and you know a little bit of that side of Africa. Urban. A little between Nigeria and the Francophone world. Please welcome my fellow Ivorian Sissi.
Hello everyone. My name is CCK Celine. I'm from West Africa, and today I'm going to present to you guys some of my songs, because I do music, I write my own music and everything. But yeah. Sika sika, sika sika sika, sika sika, sika sika sika. Srambe wanyo, sika tima bonheur. Srambe wanyo, sika mama moye. Srambe wanyo, sika mama bonheur. Srambe wanyo, sika mama moye. Hey, sika mama moye. Sika zanye viva mao Rau pachenu menya malo Kanyama ledima menya malo Mesa la guasunyo menya malo Sikao Anyama mua kunga sika Anime kunga sika Anyame kunga sika Growing up see mommy and daddy working hard to take care of us. Now it's my turn, I got to hustle for that l'argent, hustle for that paper, hustle for that money. Money, money, I call it sa money, money. Kaya de masikanyo, snaye fiyo nyamalo, kakonya sikaka, snambaba nena bobo tyo asikatyo, sika sakime, sika sika sakime, sika sakime, sika sika sakime. Nothing comes easy, you have to fight for your money, fight for your success. Life is uneasy, so give me money. Oh mommy siga, oh mommy siga, me siga, me siga, oh me siga, oh mommy siga. Mami, mami, siga, oh, mi siga, oh, mi siga, oh, mi siga, 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 kundewo siga, nya, sale menyo, zrevinya malo, kundewo siga. Oziga, kunde oziga, ziga, kunde, 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 siga, siga, moi l'argent, siga, siga. Sorry, I feel like the volume is too low, so it's not giving what I'm supposed to do. I'm so sorry. The volume is a little bit low. I want it to be a little high. But anyway, I will do a little without the beats. So this is how the next song is Fatima. This is how it goes. You see? Fatima, 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 laisse mon mari. Fatima, laisse mon chéri. Fatima, laisse mon amour. La 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 la. Aya. laisse mon mari. Fatima, laisse mon chéri. Fatima, laisse mon amour. Fatima, laisse mon doudou. Combien de fois je t'appelais Fatima? Combien de fois je t'appelais Fatima? À cause de toi, il n'est même plus à la maison. À cause de toi, il n'est même plus à la maison. Ah, tu sais, les canettes, ah bon, mi fifi, allez, wato. Ah bon, mi fifi, allez, wato. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tu t'as blagué, faut même pas t'amuser. La routine mais allez soutenir, mais quoi tu sais quoi, allez. Tu t'as blagué, faut même pas t'amuser. La routine mais allez soutenir, mais quoi tu sais quoi, allez. La 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 la, la 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 la. That's my man and you know where. You try too hard to get with him. With your big mouth assassin. It's mess so high you can't even say ton niveau est trop bas pour moi. And you're looking for my man. All of be love, be love, be love. Ah tu sais, les canettes ah bon mi fifi, allez wato. Ah bon mi fifi, allez wato. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tu t'as blagué, faut même pas t'amuser. La route mais allez soutenir, mais quand tu sais quoi, allez. Tu t'as blagué, faut même pas t'amuser. La route mais allez soutenir, mais quand tu sais quoi, allez. Sous à demander, c'est ce que tu connais pas sous à demander. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll ask the DJ to put some music so we can dance.
If I tell you, say I love you, oh. My money, my body, now your own, oh baby. 30 billion for the account, oh. Yeah. Versace and Gucci for your body, oh baby. No do, gotta for me. No do, say that, oh. No do, shakara, oh. Tutu. For your love, tutu. I go chuku. You go up there, no juju. Say you do me juju. Cause I'm feeling the juju. Shake it to you. I wanna dash it to you. Take it. You can have it to you. Take it. You know I got this in you. I love you. There's nothing above you. There's nothing above you. Reject you. I like your mini skirt you. Okay, you carry fancy you. If I tell you I love you, my money, my body, now your own, oh baby. 30 billion for the account, yo. Versace and Gucci for your body, baby. Mama's kitchen. Oh, my heart, while my head was spinning. Just like it did when I was young. She shot me straight from the gospel gun. This time she kinda caught me off guard when she grabbed that stash in a mason jar. Told me something I ain't never heard. without even saying a word. Sometimes you need to let it all go. Hold what you got in your hand. Sometimes you need to go with the flow from a bottle or glass or can. Yes, sometimes you need to wash down the weight of the world and watch it drown. Sometimes just one drink won't do. Sometimes you need to. Got a pocket full of crash and a wallet full of burn, a heart full of living that my head won't learn. Wish I had another chance with the girl I knew, but the one she gave me was the one I blew. Yes, sometimes you need to. Sometimes you need to let it all go and hold what you got in your hand. Sometimes you need to go with the flow from a bottle or glass or can. Yes, sometimes you need to wash down the weight of the world and watch it drown. Sometimes just one drink won't do. Sometimes you need to. Sometimes you may not like where things in your life have gone to, and you may not want to. But sometimes you need to let it all go and hold what you got in your hand. Sometimes you need to go with the flow from a bottle or glass or can. Yes, sometimes you need to wash down the weight of the world and watch it drown. And sometimes just one drink won't do. Sometimes you need to. Yeah, sometimes just one drink won't do.
sur le dos. Eh ouais, ma puce, là tu me rends compte, ça va faire 6 ans qu'on met des combos. Je manie les mélos, oui, voilà donc. Tu te demandes si c'est pas un complot. Oh les mains, sauf le mec ça et on va les mains.
Use forever. Use forever. Yeah, like.
Okay, guys, thank you.
My name is Rachel Yalowechi. I am a public health professional. I'm a co-founder and program director of New American Youth on the Rise, which is a science enrichment and mentorship program for girls in New American community who are interested in pursuing a health career in health sciences. I'm also involved with the New American Public Health Initiative. That's a public health organization whose mission is to address health disparities and increase awareness of chronic disease and educate community members in disease prevention. So that's a mouthful, but I can translate in French. Je disais, je m'appelle Rachel Mialouechi, je suis professionnelle de santé publique, je suis cofondatrice et directrice de programme de New American Youth on the Rise. C'est un programme d'enrichissement en sciences pour les élèves de 6e à 12e qui souhaitent continuer leurs études en sciences de santé, et je travaille aussi avec l'organisation New American Public Health Initiative, qui est une organisation de santé publique qui vise à promouvoir la santé des communautés et à parler sur les maladies chroniques et la prévention et le management des maladies chroniques. Donc, our organization, New American Public Health Initiative, we have two main programs. We have wellness events that we organize, and then we also do health education. So for the wellness program, we've done a lot of health walk. So the goal of the wellness event is to encourage community members, especially adults, to engage in regular physical activities and experience its many health benefits. The New American Public Health Initiative Wellness Events also introduces community members to a variety of physical activities available in Vermont and highlights local places where they can stay active. So, l'un des programmes de notre organisation, c'est d'encourager les membres de communauté, surtout les adultes, à pratiquer les exercices physiques, et parce que l'exercice physique a beaucoup de bénéfices sur la santé. Donc, nous organisons ces événements, marches de santé, pour encourager les adultes à faire des exercices physiques, et nous leur introduisons aussi à différentes places ici à Vermont où ils peuvent faire ces exercices. Par exemple, ici, cette photo a été prise pendant l'une de nos activités où on était sur le Burlington Greenway Multi-Use Path, which is a it is an 8-mile paved multi-use path running along the shore of Lake Champlain from south to north. It is a popular route for biker, runners and walkers. So, pour les événements futurs, nous préconisons faire notre health walk à Sherbourne Farm parce que nous voulons aussi introduire les membres de communauté à différentes places où ils peuvent faire des exercices. So, some of our future events include a health walk in Sherbourne Farm that we're planning to do on July 11th, 2026. So this is a beautiful place where people can join us to come walk together and talk about chronic disease awareness. And then we have another event also in August 23rd. It's going to be also another health walk to the beautiful Ethan Allen Park. That's the Ethan Allen Tower. So that's the second health walk of the year that we're planning. So other activities that we do include health education. So the goal of the health education program of New American Public Health Initiative is to raise awareness to public health issues, to provide information in various languages, and share resources and strategies to address these issues. So, les autres programmes que nous faisons l'éducation en santé, où nous parlons des maladies chroniques, où nous partageons des informations dans plusieurs langues pour informer la population ici, plus ou moins les immigrants, sur les maladies chroniques. Et nous les faisons à travers les workshops, les meetings, les TV shows. Ça, c'était l'un des Health Education que nous avons fait. So, nous avons, dans le passé, nous avons eu à faire des workshops sur the primary care in US. We talked about the US system, how primary care is organized here in the United States. And there was another TV show that Dr. Jules did about phones and social media use in the school. I think the guest was involved in the law to pass phone and social media free schools so that the student cannot use phones in school anymore. And we've done also a workshop in the annual checkup. So, je disais que les différentes activités d'éducation en santé que nous avons fait nous avons fait certaines activités sur les santé primaires ici aux États-Unis, comment le système de santé est organisé, parce que nous voulons que les gens puissent savoir comment le système de soins de santé est organisé ici pour qu'ils puissent bien les utiliser, pour bien prendre soin de leur santé. Nous avons fait le workshop sur l'usage des téléphones à l'école. Ça, c'était une émission télévisée où Dr. Jules a une invitée qui participait à une loi qui luttait contre l'utilisation des téléphones et des médias sociaux dans les écoles. Je pense que la loi a été passée et aujourd'hui, quand vous allez dans plusieurs écoles, il n'y a plus de téléphones dans les écoles. Ce sont les étudiants, quand ils viennent, ils laissent les téléphones dans les lockers et ils entrent à l'école et à la fin, ils récupèrent leur téléphone dans les lockers. Et nous avons organisé aussi un autre workshop sur le annual check-up, sur le check-up annuel. Ça veut dire que c'est recommandé que chaque personne puisse faire au moins le medical check-up une fois l'an pour que le médecin puisse voir comment votre état de santé général se présente afin de prévenir certaines maladies ou bien de traiter les maladies qui sont courantes pour une bonne santé générale. Et donc nous avons, we have some health education session workshop coming up. We'll be organizing a chronic disease awareness and prevention workshop in July with the Arabic community in June 29th. And then we're going to also organize another one with the Swahili-speaking community in June 24th. So those two workshops will be in focus on chronic disease awareness and prevention. So if you want to stay connected with our organization, with the activities that we do, please visit our website, or you can share your contact with us to stay connected. So this picture, So this picture is the picture of my organization I was telling you about in the beginning, the New American Youth on the Rise program, where I'm also a co-director. So those are the youth that we work with. We help them with science enrichment activities. They come to UVM at the London College of Medicine. They do a lot of science enrichment program, and they also do tutoring at different schools. So we are enrolling students for the upcoming year, fall 2026 and 2027. So I wanted to share with you this picture. So thank you so much. Donc je disais que cette photo, c'est la photo de nos élèves de New American Youth on the Rise. I have one of my team members here, Dr. Sefakor, who's here. She's a professor at the College of Nursing and Health Sciences. She's a member of my team. And she's the director of the Intercultural Excellence at the College of Nursing and Health Sciences. So she's part of the American Youth on the Rise. So thank you so much. We will keep in touch with you to continue to share with you our activities for the organization. And if anyone has a question, you can ask. Thank you. Yes, also follow us on Facebook. We are on Facebook, New American Public Health Initiative. We are on Facebook. Thank you.
Please feel free. The DJ is there. If you have a beautiful music for your country, you can just tell the DJ and he'll play. So now it's time to have fun. Il est temps maintenant de danser. Si vous voulez une belle musique, le DJ là, vous pouvez commander et pour passer devant, vous dansez. Il faut enjoy. We have people from Uganda. Uganda, you there? Uganda. Okay, Ethiopia, you there? Ethiopia, the kitchen. Okay, let's go. Ghana. Okay, let's go. Cameroon. Let's go. Nigeria. Ivory Coast. No, she left. Our singer. She's from Ivory Coast. She left. Now, Congo Brazzaville. Non, ils ne sont pas là. Et bien les people from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Est-ce que vous êtes qualifiés à la Coupe du Monde? You guys gonna play World Cup. Are you ready? Okay, everyone Congo. So, okay, DJ. Eritrea? Thank you, Mulu Kitchen, for your delicious food. Hello, DJ. Allez, go ahead.
I wish I freestyle. Yeah. 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 Suene. Everybody, Guardia! Put up, mama! Put up, mama! Put up, mama! Mama! Alolegi, 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 alolegi. Put up, freestyle. Yeah, 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 mama, mama, mama. Suene. Everybody, Guardia! Put up, mama! Put up, mama! Put up, mama! Mama! Alolegi, 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 alolegi. Freestyle. Mama, just wait up. Yeah, yeah. Suene. Everybody, Guardia! Put up, mama! Put up, mama! Put up, mama! Mama! Alolegi, 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 alolegi. Freestyle. I don't know me dirty. Mama don't dirty, they dirty, they wait up. Dirty there, dirty there, dirty there. I don't know me they dirty. Mama don't wait up, they dirty. I don't know me they dirty. Suene. Everybody, quiet down. Put up, mama. Put up, mama. Put up, mama. Mama. Alolegi, 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 alolegi. Wait up. Freestyle. I don't know me they dirty. Wait up, mama. 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 I don't know, mama. Mama. I don't know.